Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. In the next 4 video tutorials, guys, we are going to be going through tariff systems, in particular your water tariffs, your electricity tariffs, your transport tariffs, and your bank tariffs. Okay, so if you know that you are currently struggling tremendously, right, with tariff systems, guys, please make sure that you follow with me and these video tutorials, okay? Because what's gonna happen is that I will be explaining each concept to you guys in detail. I'll be giving you guys examples where I explain the approach to you guys, and I'll also be giving you guys homework. Okay, how odd for a person to give you homework over YouTube, but I will definitely be giving you guys homework to do, and that homework will be marked the next day. Okay, so that's the way that I'm gonna help you guys, and that's the way that I'm gonna make sure that you also are engaging, are interacting, doing some work on your own, and then coming back to the channel to basically see if you understood everything that you're supposed to understand. Right, in this video tutorial, guys, we are going to be focusing on water tariffs. Right, you are expected to know that when you're calculating water tariffs, guys, you calculate water tariffs using what? The sliding scale, okay, and not the flat rate. What do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, right, you and your family use 38 kiloliters of water, and the tariff, right, is 69 rand and 10 cents per kiloliter of water you use. Okay, so what would then be calculating a tariff using a flat rate? Okay, so if you calculate how much you need to pay towards your water bill using a flat rate, right, you would take this 38 kiloliters of water that you've consumed, and you would multiply it by that 69.10 cents per kiloliter to get 2,625 rand and 80 cents. And this would be incorrect, okay, because water tariffs are not calculated using a flat rate. Okay, the tariff is not fixed. The tariff changes, okay, based on how much water you consume. Okay, so when we calculate our water tariffs, we do not calculate our water tariffs using a flat rate, but we calculate our water tariffs using what? A sliding scale. Okay, however, when we're calculating our electricity tariffs, okay, we can calculate electricity tariffs using a flat rate, or we can calculate electricity tariffs using what? The sliding scale. But I'll get into that into detail when we look at our electricity tariffs. Okay, so I just wanted to highlight that to you guys before we get started with our video tutorial. So just have that at your back of your mind, that when you're calculating water tariffs, guys, we calculate water tariffs using what? Your sliding scale. And the whole point of that is so that people that consume more water pay more. That's it. Okay, when you consume more, you pay more. It's basically to discourage people from using too much water. Okay, so before we get started with the video tutorial, guys, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Please make sure that you've clicked on that notification bell so that you get notified every single time I upload a new video tutorial, guys. And also don't forget to give this video tutorial a huge thumbs up, because that really helps the channel grow, and it helps the channel to reach more learners that want to better their mathematics skills, guys. And the channel is really reaching more learners. So I appreciate all the engagement that I'm getting. I appreciate all the likes that you are giving the video tutorials and all the comments. I see them. I appreciate them, guys. Please, please keep the likes coming. Keep the comments coming, because they are really, really helping channel go. So without any further ado, guys, let's get started with today's video tutorial. mentioned, guys, in today's video tutorial, we are going to be focusing on water tariffs, right? And like I mentioned, when it comes to water tariffs, guys, water tariffs are calculated using a sliding scale. And the whole point of using a sliding scale is to basically discourage consumers from using a lot of water, because if you use a lot of water, then you pay more, right? So that is why it is water tariffs are calculated using a sliding scale. Okay, so we're going to look at this activity together, right? I'm going to go through it with you guys in detail, right? And I'm going to just give you guys the approach that you need to basically take when you are basically tackling your water tariff questions in your tests and in your exams. Okay, all right, so let us look at this activity. Okay, the table below shows the stepped water tariff rates sliding scale for residential properties in Cape Town. As from the 1st of February 2018, level 6 tariffs were charged. Okay, so the table shows the stepped water tariff rate sliding scale for residential houses in Cape Town. Okay, so this is basically the step that has been given to us. We are given 6 steps, right? We are basically told or given the volume or the amount of water that is used. We are told that 1 kiloliter is equal to 1,000 liters. Okay, we are told that this is the level 4, or what is the tariff that is basically charged. So the rands per kiloliters that are basically charged, including the VAT, the 15% VAT. And we're also given the level 6 tariffs, which are the rands per kiloliter, and it also includes that 15% VAT. Okay, so we are told that the first step, right, is if you consume more than 0 kiloliters to 6 kiloliters of water, right, you need to pay. We're just going to focus on level 4 for now, just for the purpose of me explaining the approach to you guys, what you need to do, just analyzing what we are given here. Okay, so if you consume between 0 to 6 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 4 Rand and 65 cents. If you consume between 6 kiloliters to 10 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 17.75. If you consume between 10 kiloliters to 20 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 25 Rand and 97 cents per kiloliter of water that you use. If you consume between 20 kiloliters to 35 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 43 Rand and 69 cents per kiloliter of water that you use. If you consume between 35 kiloliters up to 50 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 113 Rand and 99 cents per kiloliter of water that you consume. And if you consume more than 50 kiloliters of water, you need to pay 302 Rand and 24 cents per kiloliter of water that you consume. So what we see here, okay, what I was saying is basically shown here, right? The more water you use, the more you pay per kiloliter of water that you consume. Okay, so that is basically why the sliding scale or the tiered system is used when it comes to your water tariffs, is to discourage people from just using too much water. Okay, so what does all of this mean, right? What does the step mean? Okay, how do we calculate how much you would pay towards your water bill if this is given to you? Let me just give you guys an approach that you need to use when you're basically dealing with this question, right? So in the previous video tutorial, guys, I basically used a JoJo tank to help explain what is basically going on within the different steps or the different intervals that are given to us, right? So for example, here we are told that in the first step, that is basically when you use between 0 to 6 kiloliters of water, right? if we were to basically assume or pretend this is a JoJo tank, okay? If there's no water in this JoJo tank, guys, do you guys agree that we basically have 0 kiloliters of water, okay? But then if we start adding water into this JoJo tank, and this water fills this JoJo tank up until that first line there, where I've indicated with that 6 kiloliters. Do you guys agree that now we would have 6 kiloliters of water in this JoJo tank? Okay, so if you pour water into this JoJo tank, right, and this water fills this JoJo tank all the way up until that level there, do you guys agree that we would have 6 kiloliters of water in this JoJo tank, right? So basically what this means is that in this first step, we have how many kiloliters of water? We've got 6 kiloliters of water. And then if you continue to pour water into your JoJo tank, right, and this water goes up until this point there that I've indicated with that 10 kiloliters, right? Okay, how many kiloliters of water would we now have if we were to basically call this the second step? Would we say that we've got 10 kiloliters of water in our second step, just in that small, in that section? Would we say that we've got 10 kiloliters of water? No, we wouldn't say we've got 10 kiloliters of water because we've added to that 6 kiloliters of water, how much? 4 kiloliters of water to get to 10 kiloliters of water. Okay, so in our second step, how many kiloliters of water do we have in there? We've got 4 kiloliters of water. Okay, and then if we continue to pour water into our JoJo tank until we get to that 20 kiloliter mark, right? How many kiloliters of water have we now added into our third step? Okay, we can't say that we've added 20 kiloliters of water in that third step. However, we can say that we've added 10 kiloliters of water, because to move from the 10 kiloliters of water that we already have in our JoJo tank to the 20 kiloliters of water, right, we had to add how many kiloliters of water? 10 kiloliters of water. And lastly, if we continue to pour water into our JoJo tank, and this water goes up until that 35 kiloliter mark, how much water did we actually pour in that fourth region, right? We've actually poured 15 kiloliters of water to get to what? That 35 kiloliters of water. Okay, so in the first region, we've poured 6 kiloliters of water, right? In the second region, to get to 10 kiloliters of water, right, what did we add? We added 4 kiloliters of water to that 6 kiloliters of water, okay, right? And then in our third region, we added 10 kiloliters of water, okay? And in our fourth region, we added 15 kiloliters of water, right? And in total, how many kiloliters of water have we added to this JoJo tank? We've added 6 kiloliters of water plus 4 kiloliters of water plus 10 kiloliters of water plus 15 kiloliters of water to give us 35 kiloliters of water. So that is basically the best way that I can explain what is going on in those intervals that are basically occurring here. Okay, so to basically determine how many kiloliters of water was used in this first step, right, we know that, okay, between 0 to 6 kiloliters of water, that means that 6 kiloliters of water was used, okay? So between 6 to 10 kiloliters of water, okay, how much water was used? You just say 10 minus 6 and it gives you 4 kiloliters of water was used in step number 2, okay? Okay, between 10 and 20 kiloliters of water, Okay, how much water was used in the third step? 20 minus 10 gives you 10 kiloliters of water, right? And between 35 to 20 kiloliters of water, how much water was used in this step? 35 minus 20 is equal to 15 kiloliters of water. And between 35 kiloliters of water to 50 kiloliters of water, how much water was used in that step? 50 minus 35 is 15 kiloliters of water, right? So that is basically how you basically obtain how much water was added in each step. Okay, and then I basically used this water tank example to basically help you guys understand what is going on. Why are they saying it's 6? Why are they saying it's 4? Why are they saying it's 10 kiloliters of water? And why are they saying it's 15 kiloliters of water in the fourth step, right? It's just how much water was added in that region, how much water was added in the third region, how much water was added in the second region, and how much water was added in the first region. So that is basically what is going on here, right? So when you're given a question like this on water tariffs, what is the approach that you are supposed to use to help you answer this question? So the first thing that you need to do, guys, is you basically need to calculate the water per step. Okay, so that is basically the first thing that I've shown you guys here, right? You calculate how much water is there per step. Okay, then the second thing that you need to do is you need to check that the water that you've basically calculated adds up to the water quantity or the amount of water that is given to you in your question. And then from there, all that you need to do, you need to multiply, right, the water quantity in each step with the tariff that is charged in that step. And then all that you need to do is you need to add up all those amounts together to get the total cost that you would now, or that person that you're being asked about needs to pay towards their water bill. Okay, so now let's just put this into context and let's see if we can actually apply all these steps. Right, let's just say they give us a question like, how much would you pay if you consumed 35 kiloliters of water in your household, right? So in our approach, we know the first thing we need to do is we need to determine the amount of water that is used in each step. Then we need to ensure that the amount of water that we've basically calculated in each step adds up to the amount of water that is asked to us in this question, right? So here we need to basically calculate how much you would pay if you consumed how much? 35 kiloliters of water. All right. So first thing we need to do, we need to calculate the amount of water that is consumed in each step, right? So here we already know in the first step we consume 6 kiloliters of water. In the second step, it's 4 kiloliters of water. So already if you add these two up, you get 10 kiloliters of water. We need to get to 35 kiloliters of water, right? So far, we've just consumed 10 kiloliters of water here, okay? So we continue. Plus this 10 kiloliters of water that we've added there, right? So far, how many kiloliters of water have we've consumed? 20 kiloliters of water. So we need to continue until we get to 35 kiloliters of water, right? So if you add this 15 kiloliters of water there, we now have 35 kiloliters of water. All right. So already in the first step, guys, like I mentioned, right, how many kiloliters of water is consumed? It's 6 kiloliters of water, right? Okay, there. In the second step, how many kiloliters of water? It's 4 kiloliters of water, okay? In the third step, how many kiloliters of water is consumed, right? It's 10 kiloliters of water. And right? In the fourth step, how many kiloliters of water is consumed is 15 kiloliters of water, right? So in our approach, it says that we need to determine how many kiloliters of water is consumed in each step. We've done that. Second thing, we need to determine whether the kiloliters of water add up to the kiloliters of water that are asked to you in your question. So if you take this 6 kiloliters plus the 4 kiloliters plus the 10 kiloliters plus the 15 kiloliters, we get how many kiloliters of water? It's 35 kiloliters, right? So in this case, our kiloliters of water adds up to the kiloliters of water that have been given to us in our question, right? So from here, all we need to do is we need to calculate the tariff per step. And once we've calculated the tariff per step, we just need to add them up to get how much you would pay towards your water bill if you consumed 35 kiloliters of water, right? And in this case, guys, I'm just gonna focus on the level 4 values for the point of this explanation. In the first step, we see that you're charged R4.65 per kiloliter of water that you use. Then we know that in the second step, you're charged R17.75 per kiloliter of water that you use. Okay. In the third step, you are charged R25.97 per kiloliter of water that you use. And in the fourth step, right, you are charged R43.69 per kiloliter of water that you consume. Okay, so all that we need to basically do now is basically calculate, okay, how much you need to pay per step. And then once you've calculated how much you need to pay per step, you just need to add them up to basically get what is the amount that you'll pay at the end of the month for consuming 35 kiloliters of water. Okay, so now let's calculate how much this person or you would pay in each step. All right, so I've just basically rewritten everything that I put in the previous page, right? So I've just written this down. However, all that I've done now is I've multiplied the volume with the tariff that is obviously charged. Okay, if you take 6 kiloliters and you multiply it by 4.65, you will get 27.90 rand, right? So in the first step, you'll pay 27.90 if you basically use 6 kiloliters of water. In the second step, you'll pay 4 kiloliters multiplied by 17.75 cents per kiloliter. You'll pay 71 rand, right? So in the second step, if you use 4 kiloliters of water, you will pay 71 rand. Okay. In the third step, 10 kiloliters multiplied by 25.97 per kiloliter of water that you use, right? You will pay 259 rand and 70 cents. So if you use 10 kiloliters of water, you will pay 259 rand and 70 cents. And lastly, in the fourth step, 15 kiloliters multiplied by 43.69 per kiloliter, you will get 655 rand and 35 cents. So if you use 15 kiloliters of water, you'll pay 655 rand and 35 cents in the fourth step. Okay, so that is basically the total tariffs that you'll pay in each step. However, we are not done. We want to find out what would then be the total cost, right, that this person or you would pay if you consumed 35 kiloliters of water, right? So the total cost that you would pay then if you consumed 35 kiloliters of water is then you would basically need to add up all these amounts, right? So let's do that. So if you add up all these amounts together, then the total cost towards your water bill that you'd pay at the end of the month, if you basically used 35 kiloliters of water, and we used level 4, right, would be 1,013.95, right? So what we did here, we did obviously use that approach. We calculated the water per step, right? And then we checked to see if the volume of the water adds up to the water that we were given in the question, right? Then we multiplied the volume of the water with the tariff that is given per step, right? And then all we did is that we added up all the amounts to get what the total cost would be at the end of the month for basically consuming 35 kiloliters of water. Okay, so what is very important, guys, when you're obviously doing your tariff calculations, guys, you should never ever round off that tariff amount that is given to you there. You need to write it down the way that it is when you're doing your calculations. Okay, you should never ever round off your tariffs that are given to you. You can only probably just round off your final answer, but when you're doing your calculations, guys, you should never ever round off these values. You need to use these values as they are. Okay, so that is basically, guys, how you approach your water tariff questions. Okay, that is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.